Hey guys, Noel here, and it is Friday night, and it is super late. And this live stream was going to start much earlier, and in fact, I didn't even think this live stream was going to work. I don't think this live stream is going to go actually very long because I'd been trying since about 10 o'clock to actually get the stream going, and apparently there was something going on either with the Prism app or with YouTube. So, hey, Sinister Man, I was trying to get on here like much earlier, and the stream kept saying there was an error. I was trying to like re-download apps and troubleshoot stuff and see what was going on. And I was actually thinking, because I did have a copyright strike with my Great Muta Hulk Hogan match, I was thinking that I was being denied streaming or something along those lines, and I don't know. I just kept trying, and eventually we got a stream to work. So hopefully this will work out. But I originally wanted to start streaming at like 10 o'clock max, and it's like 11 o'clock now. So this stream probably won't be too long. I mean, originally my plan was to play some of this right here, the GameCube. And the reason I'm thinking about playing this tonight is because I got something pretty interesting in the mail that goes by the name of Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Revival. Yes, WWE somehow got one of my unlisted videos. Yeah, dude, what the freak, man? It's like my Hogan Muta video was struck by New Japan, and I mean it had been up for years. And actually, what it was a video that was taped off of YouTube back in like 2006, and then I uploaded it a few years ago because there's not a lot of footage of Hogan versus Muta, which is Hogan's, I would say, best match. And there are other versions of it floating around, but they always cut out Hulk Hogan's Real American music. And that always really annoyed me, because when you actually watch the original version with Hulk Hogan's Real America, it's really it's really cool. It looks awesome when Hulk is kind of coming down the ramp and it's blaring Real American, and he's doing his Ichiban stuff. And it's like, this is like the skinny Hulk that fought Yokozuna, and like how he looked when he first came to WCW. And it's a really, really good match. So I wanted it to be shared in its original form. So I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not making any money on this stuff, and it's such a weird format the way that I uploaded it. It's like it's like a VHS tape of 3 YouTube videos, but apparently that was enough to get a strike or something, man. Who knows what's going on? But at least we did get the stream finally working, and I don't know exactly what was the issue, but we're live, and they actually used Refemel. Yeah, they did. They used Real American. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, no, it was great. Like Hogan came out to Real American. He was doing his Ichiban stuff. It was really good stuff, man. And Hogan's Japanese repertoire is very good. He's doing like enziguris, he's doing chain wrestling. He's a very competent wrestler. If you ever saw Hulk Hogan's match against Bret Hart on Nitro, it's like an extended version of that with an actual clean finish. It's a very, very good match. It's my favorite Hogan match, and Hogan is my favorite wrestler, so I was sad to see it get taken down. It was actually one of my most viewed videos, and for good reason, because that is an awesome match. And the version that I had uploaded actually had Hogan's real music in it. And I don't know, so I guess we have to be punished for that. And I'm just happy that the stream is working, because I really enjoy doing these streams. The kind of happy accident is that now that we're doing all this hybrid teaching, it's made me much more comfortable as a teacher, because I actually teach very similar to how I do these streams, because I get to interact with you guys through the text, through the chat. Even though I don't have a face-to-face relationship with you, we have a rapport because we still communicate, and we build our relationship through this medium. Yeah, it's a weird going on, man. Like, honestly, you know what? Like, I don't want to like leave YouTube or anything like that, but like when I was having such a hard time getting on, I was like looking into other options like Facebook gaming and stuff like that. But I mean, I've got like 834 on my channel for subscribers, and by big YouTuber standards, that's not much. But for me, I mean, I've scratched and clawed my way up to that amount, so I hate to see. I hate to see that work go to waste. I mean, I know there's other platforms that you maybe can try to link your channel to, but I don't know, man. If I can just keep things going the way that they are, it'd be nice. I tried looking at Facebook gaming and it just was weird, man. Like I couldn't even tell what was going on. This is just much easier. I can just, get the camera on and then just stream directly to YouTube, see what you guys write in the chat and interact with you guys. So, hopefully we can keep doing this and keep doing this, and then find some other options as well in case something goes sideways. But yeah, it's sad that things are not as fun as they used to be. I think people would be much better off if it was, because I mean one of the reasons that the internet and the United States and the subsections of the internet got as popular as they did was accessibility, and the more accessibility is limited and controlled, I think the more things are going to stagnate, both in terms of culture and economic profit. If that's your motivation, you want to have a really quality thing that people appreciate, as opposed to something that's getting increasingly diminished quality. Because that's what happened to places like MySpace. Like MySpace. Which I still use MySpace, but I use it based on principle because I insist that, we are living simultaneously in 1987, 1997, and 2007, as well as living in 2020. But yeah, man, like it just got like harder and harder to use if you had like a slower internet connection. And then, someone like Facebook came along. So, but enough of my rantings and ramblings. Let's get down to what I was really hoping to do, some gaming. And, I've got papers due. I've been grading papers for a long time because progress reports are coming up. But I hadn't done a stream all week, and I was really looking forward to doing one. And so now that we've got one going, it'd be nice to do a little gaming on here. Also hate independent fact checking on social media. A lot of fact checking is erroneous. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a serious bias in the media. I mean, I definitely do understand the need to, want to make sure that credible information is, distinguished from not credible information. But I think what we're both talking about right here is slandering independent news sources because they're disagreeing with what the cool-headed corporate observers who are doing the herding of the masses feel is appropriate. And I mean, they're really bent out of shape about the 2016 election because I think they really feel slighted. It's a slap in the face to their power that they didn't get what they wanted. And I'm not even saying this as a big Trump guy. I'm just saying that they did not want Trump to get elected. They lost control of the situation, and now a rogue oligarch is making them look like chumps. And they've just been hysterical since then. And now we're paying for it because they're trying to regulate more of the social media stuff so that they can try to control politics better. And it sucks. So, anyway, let's play some Street Fighter. So, now watch what I said. I'm going to end up getting a knock at my door. I'm actually watching a lot of One Life to Live from 1986. So my mom, I was raised by a single mom, so she would always watch like 80s soap operas, and I'd like play with He-Man and She-Ra. And so then what we would end up doing, because my mom was the only one that played with me, is like we'd like combine like He-Man and She-Ra and then like One Life to Live episodes. So while I've been grading papers, like I've been getting like flashbacks to like those 80s soaps in my head. So I've been watching them on YouTube. It's funny because I feel many, quote, Trump supporters and voters are not particularly big fans. They're not. It's just that they've just, he's like a pro wrestling character He's like a cross between like Mr. McMahon and Ronald Reagan, and a little bit of Hogan thrown in there, if only for the spray tanning. But yeah, the system has just kind of, if you like read any Noam Chomsky or listen to people like Noam Chomsky, it's like you can see, how bourgeois liberal culture is very shallow and corrupt, and it just got to the point where they've started to kind of sink beneath the level of a cartoon guy like Trump. And now people are just kind of going with him on principle. He actually reminds me a lot of Silvio Berlusconi from Italy, because when their political system started to get bogged down in corruption, he ended up getting a lot of political traction. And he was, he was like, I think, a more articulate version of Trump, but they're very, very similar people. And I think if you saw the vice presidential debate, I think that Trump would be a freaking wrecking machine if he actually got trained by Mike Pence in terms of how to talk properly. Because I thought Mike Pence did very well in that debate. I feel we are at an all-time low when it comes to people he got sick. Yeah, man, I don't know. In terms of like the people he got sick around the White House, as far as I know, like he wasn't even like the patient zero. Like I was one of his staffers that got him sick, and then now everything's starting to spread because once that stuff gets rolling, and you're in an area where people are interacting with each other the way that they are, stuff happens, man. Who knows? I don't know what he is and isn't doing either. Like if he's following protocols or not. The media is going to make him try to look as terrible as possible because they hate him. But, I don't know. I just don't know. In terms of, like, the numbers for the country, I don't blame him for that. I think that's... I don't know. I think that's just where we're at in terms of the amount of people that we have in big cities and then just our culture as well. I think we've done a lot better than places like Italy. We could also have done, hindsight's 2020, and there's things that we could have done different, and there's things that individual people are doing that are outside of Trump's control. So I don't really think, the idea of, I'm not saying that you're doing this, but I get annoyed when people like Biden are like blaming Donald Trump for 200,000 dead people. It's like, no, like he didn't make the coronavirus. And and honestly, like I'm not a big Andrew Cuomo fan either. Like I really am not a big Andrew Cuomo fan. I think his, putting sick people in nursing homes is obscene, and he needs to get in like massive trouble for that. But I think other than that, his response to COVID in New York State has been good. And I think Trump's, at least a lot of his initial responses to once this actually became a really serious threat in terms of like, hey, it's coming to the shores. There's nothing like get your shit together. I think, he did a good job with that. I just think stuff started to turn into a very political pissing match between all the usual suspects. Find it funny how the Pence people were talking about the record of Harris and disproportionately high arrests, yet anti-Pence people come and talk about, because they don't have a leg to stand on, man. Like, that's the thing, man. Like, so, I'm kind of all over the place with my politics, but... back when Obama was president, and I was much more vocal on the kind of the left-wing socialistic anti-capitalist side of things, it was always the Republicans and the margins who I was friends with them, but I'd have these kind of arguments, and it was always kind of like implicit, like, oh, it's the liberals that are the smart, substantive ones, and it's the conservatives that are kind of silly. And that stereotype has been blown right out of the water with the Trump presidency, because whatever kind of nutballs were saying that, Glenn Beck or whatever, saying like Obama was a Maoist with his giant chalkboard, and then the handful of people that believed him or thought that Obama was the Antichrist or something silly like that, those people were so minuscule and were largely harmless. But the anti-Trump crowd, it's like it's everywhere in the establishment. And a lot of it, like in terms of like talking about like Kamala Harris loses the debate, so run cover by just talking about the fly in Mike Pence's hair. That's where we're at, and that's where they're at. So, and that's why Trump is getting support, despite the fact that he's, he is constantly getting in his own way and falling over himself because I don't know, he likes attention, and he's not stupid, but he's not tactful either. So, it is what it is. No, but I thought Pence wrecked her in that debate. I don't mean that in like a disrespectful way, but I mean that in like a combative way. Yeah, no, he did much better, and once he got her off kilter, she just started like race baiting and stuff. Like, well, you don't have any black judges on you. When did you appoint it? Would you ever appoint a black judge? Like, that's not what people are talking about. What are you even talking about? So, and yeah, she came off as kind of like I thought she came off as kind of like shrill and sarcastic, and Pence was just like Opie Taylor if he grew up to be a great debater or something. I don't even personally agree with trickle down economics, but I don't know. I think that we as a Californian, I never liked her. Yes, I hear that, man. For sure. Yeah, and that's exactly what we're going to be playing. We've been talking for like 16 minutes. It's been a great conversation. But we'll get down to some of that. But yeah, no, man, I think it's the liberals now that have somehow sunk beneath the level of a WWE kind of cartoon villain or cartoon hero, depending on your perspective. And I mean that seriously. He's in the WWE Hall of Fame, and he acts his character from WWE. And it's just the world now has sunk beneath the level of kind of fantasy parody. And so people will now kind of cling to the fantasy parody as a way to kind of cling to something that's not, totally cynical, vitriolic, and willful. And that's saying a lot because, Trump is, a rogue oligarch who's in it for himself. So, but he's also, I guess, got his likable side too. So, anyway, let's get down to playing some Street Fighter. All right. So, here we go. So, I was super happy to find this game on eBay at a reasonable price. Let me get this camera set up properly here. Hold on. Okay. There we go. Fun fact, WWE has been on TV since before I was born. Yeah, you got that right. Well, I'm 37, so the first WrestleMania was 84, so I would have been like 2. I guess we don't need to hit the lights. So I actually got this because my son was watching a lot of videos about this particular game on YouTube. I found it for like $15 on eBay, and I remember I used to play a ROM of this like years ago because I had this Dell desktop, and I'd go to my friend's house and he'd just like throw some ROMs on a USB for me. Incidentally, on that topic, Retro Zoltan. He has his own YouTube channel now. He literally just started it. He emailed me. I'm actually gonna be sending him my USB drive, my USB drive that he sent me. He's gonna kind of do a little tweaking to it. I mean, it's a fantastic product as is, but there was a double disc game, and I'm only able to load the first disc. So he being the stand-up dude that he is, he's going to take a look at it. And he also said, because I requested if he could put the fan translation of Castlevania Symphony of the Night on it instead of the official translation, which has such wonky dialogue, he said he'd be happy to do that. So as soon as I get a chance, I'm going to send that back to him. But then I just saw he emailed me, and, he just said, hey, I got a YouTube channel. And it's a Retro Zoltan, and I just barely took a look at it, but it seemed really awesome. And he's an awesome guy and a good friend, and I am more than happy to plug the channel of someone who actually, gives a shit about both their craft in terms of kind of like hacking and enhancing hardware. and also just someone who does it for love of the game too. You know, just someone who really likes gaming and likes live streaming and likes making videos. And you know, you get a lot of people on YouTube now that, you know, they're, I don't know, it's a job to them and it's not fun. But this guy, you know, he's one of the good ones. Interesting thing about this game is I don't know. It's like I like the new backgrounds, you know, but at the same time that doesn't diminish the original backgrounds, which are arguably better. They're both. It's different. It's interesting. I never played this, but my friend WrestleMania 1 was 85, and you were born in 88. Never played this, but my friend and I have a brother. He had a Game Boy Advance emulator. Same friend gave me Alpha 3 on Game Boy. Because yeah, that's what I played this on. I played this on a Game Boy Advance emulator. And then for a period, I thought I actually had the cartridge and didn't. And then I realized I only had the Alpha 3 cartridge. We could actually play some of the Alpha 3 cartridge after this. Graphics on this are very, very nice. I mean, you know, the Game Boy Advance is like a beefed up Super Nintendo, so, you know, it looks like what Super Turbo would look like if it was less cheap and played on a beefed up Super Nintendo. And then they added some artwork that's a little more reminiscent of the Street Fighter animated movie, and then made some backgrounds again that are a little more connected to the character's presentation in the Street Fighter animated movie. Now, I've heard that with this game, and I'm not sure if it's every copy of this game or just some copies of this game, that when you get to Akuma, the game glitches, and I've seen that glitch on YouTube. And the other thing that I've seen on YouTube is that because of the name swapping that is done overseas for the boss characters, the victory quotes are also all switched. So M. Bison, who in Japan is Vega, will have who in Japan is Balrog, and here in the US is Vega's victory quotes. When M. Bison will win, he'll say, like, handsome fighters never lose a battle, which is, you know, kind of out of character for him. Although, I mean, he is a super villain, so I think he'd probably have a high sense of his own looks. Yeah, it's just weird, man. I don't understand why the stream wasn't working earlier, but here we are, so I'm happy it's working. So how've things been with you, man? I heard you've been doing some new jobs. You know, I'm seeing you on Facebook, just you know, staying substantive. Aurora Borealis, localized entirely in Seymour Skinner's kitchen. May I see it? No. One of my favorite YouTubers, Justin Wang, actually made a joke about that not too long ago. His videos are great. It's just sometimes they're just way too, like, gross. He's in a lot of, like, into kind of going into the dark web, like, type stuff, and I can't do some of that. I can't do it, man. You know, like, you just look at his channel, you can see some of what I'm talking about, but there's also other really good gamer nerdy stuff that he does too. Yes, what by the way? You must defeat Shenlong to stand a chance. I mean, the music on this game is very good, but it does sound a bit scaled down compared to its 16-bit and arcade counterparts. But it looks great, man. Big sprites, extremely smooth gameplay. I mean, I think this is more fun to play than the arcade version of Super Turbo, or even the 3DO version of Super Turbo. The 3DO version of Super Turbo is great. It's just Super Turbo is a very cheap game And this actually plays like a more fluid Street Fighter game and doesn't have those kind of like bitch AIs where they act like putting the screws to the player is a sign of quality, which Super Turbo definitely it feels like it gets very cheap when you fight the computer. Gave Sega Lord X's sister cancer treatments. GoFundMe dollars. I want to get you something, but I can't now. Oh, whatever, man. I mean, like, if yeah, dude, just seriously, man, do your like that. That's a very noble thing, and I'm really sorry to hear about his sister because I love Sega Lord X. He's another one of those. He's a big YouTuber who is fun to listen to because people like Classic Game Room, like he was one of the YouTubers that I saw, pretty early on, and it was just like he was really refreshing because he wasn't like G4. He's like actually like someone like me who's like, oh, this guy just likes video games and is talking about what he likes. That is actually one of the few times I've actually done that stage properly. I'm never good at the barrel stage. Uh, do you have a P.O. box I can get something delivered? Well, I mean, my P.O. box is 13045, and we're Facebook friends, so you can message me for, whatever, whenever. But, yeah, man, I mean, that's extremely generous, but just, you take care of yourself and, whatever, man. Like, I mean, I'm fine with nothing. If you want to be generous, I'm always down for a present, but I certainly want you to take care of yourself. That's what's most important. Super combo finish. A surprise game that I don't have. I used to watch. Oh, that's awesome, man. Used to watch G4 Tech. I used to love G4 before they started being like shills for like sports games and first person shooters. I'm a person that really likes the mainstreaming of quote unquote geek culture because I'm not one of those like nerdy people that like is like antisocial. Like I like the Big Bang Theory. I like the fact that, when I was like dating, I could be more open about being nerdy because of the Big Bang Theory. I was kind of open before about being nerdy too, but now like the girls were like, it's like, oh, you're like one of those guys from the Big Bang Theory. I'm like, yes, I am. So yeah, like G4 was actually really cool. When they had like Olivia Munn and these like kind of gamer girls that it was cool games and eye candy and funny stuff, and it was cool. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, man, it got very corporate. What show I used to like on G4? I used to go over G4. I used to be playing in the background at my best friend's house. So I'd go over there. Like we'd have G4 on one TV. I'd be playing on another TV. My fists still have your blood on them. This does have the mixed up quotes because that would be Balrog. That would be M. Bison's quote in the sense of Balrog, because he would be talking about his boxing gloves having blood on them. I used to like Code Monkeys quite a bit on G4 because I'd go to my friend's house. We'd have G4 on his 27-inch tube set. Then he had a flat screen TV that he had his consoles hooked up to, like a PS3, Xbox 360. So I'd play that. Then he would be on a gaming PC, and then his little brother would be on another gaming PC. So we had like 4 things going in there at once. Like I'd play the console monitor. They'd each have a monitor for their PC gaming, and then like G4 would be on the tube set. And it was a lot of fun, man. And but by the time I got digital cable, G4 had already turned into a shit show. Olivia Munn Psylocke was only eye candy. Olivia Munn was funny too, man. Like I remember they did some special with her where they were like doing actress interviews, and she was just like this shallow megalomaniac who like ate baby ducks for youthful vitality or something. It was really funny. Yeah. No, it was good stuff. Was it Morgan? There was another one, girl named Morgan who was okay. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Then I just remember my friend telling me they like shit all over Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, which like, what are you talking about, man? Like, how do you not like Crisis Core? That's a really good game. In fact, that actually is even talking about that makes me want to revisit that game. I mean, I played that game from start to finish and never there was never a part of that game I didn't enjoy. I mean, I like Remake a lot, but I got to tell you right now, like I have put Remake down because of other obligations in life. And so maybe it was just a different time. Like I never put Crisis Core down. So it's good stuff. I'm Bison. So we didn't get to see if the Akuma glitch was gonna screw things up because we barely lost to Vega. Actually, I've read somewhere that this game was actually recalled because of the Akuma glitch and the screwed up boss voices. The Japanese version is said to work fine, so this appears to be a Capcom USA boo-boo. Oh, that was easy. You're thinking of Morgan from X-Play. Yeah, that's right. Bad thing about this game that is hilarious is that the regular sprites are from NES, but uses Arcade Super Turbo sprites for the Turbo exclusive moves. That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't even notice that. Nice artwork here. I mean, I do like the charm of the, the Akiman artwork for the endings, but this is definitely some nice artwork as well. Top Hat Gaming Man actually did a review, a little bit of a history review of this game a while back on his channel. And by a while back, I'm saying like 2 or 3 weeks ago. You know what I'm super tempted to get, man, are those Game Gear Minis. Actually, mini is not even the right thing to say. Game Gear Micros. I've bitched about those in previous live streams because they're way too small. But it's a new Game Gear, so I don't know. I mean, I really would like. I had a Game Gear that I bought at a flea market, and it just did not work at all. I was really bummed. I think somehow it got thrown out, and I didn't throw it out, or maybe I don't know how it got thrown out, and my wife didn't do it either because. I don't know whether it just got lost at some point. But it's not around anymore. Maybe I did throw it out. Because it just was a complete dud. Ah, Cammy. Her high-cut leotard and deadly kicks just really got America through some tough times. So I was a little bit surprised on the anniversary collection that they actually used the artwork of this for the Super Games wallpaper, like the side wallpaper, because it's 4x3. I mean, I really like the artwork to this game, but I thought they would use. I mean, this game came out in what, like 2004, 2005. So I thought they would have used like more original artwork rather than the more updated artwork. But the artwork here, I mean, it's really good, accurate artwork done in the style of the animated movie Obviously not by the same artist, but it's definitely got the same spirit to it. Chun-Li has her Alpha 2 stage. Yes, that is correct. This game is 2001, may even be a launch title. Interesting, I did not know that. My first Game Boy Advance game was Legacy of Goku, and I got that before I even got the Game Boy Advance. That was the first I want to say that was the first Dragon Ball game since Final Bout. Because Dragon Ball, was pretty much put on the shelf after GT, and I mean, it didn't it's not like it fell out of existence, but they weren't making any new Dragon Ball stuff. But then it got popular in America, and then that bled back into Japan, and now we got what we got. I got Legacy of Goku first day it came out. It's a good game. I mean, it's definitely definitely a little different in the sense that, it's got a little bit of that Legend of Zelda vibe to it. So it's not completely accurate in terms of power levels. You got little animals beating up Goku here and there, but it's a really good game, and I think it does a good job of capturing the spirit of the 16-bit Dragon Ball style games. And it's fun, and it looks good too. I have Taiketsu as well. That is a weird game. They got those Donkey Kong Country style graphics and just awkward gameplay. But it's not bad. It's an odd game. And again, it's a game I like, but it's interesting. For an American Dragon Ball fighting game, though, I think it does a pretty decent job of it feels like a legitimate Dragon Ball fighting game, and the music to it is nice. They do a really good job of making the Funimation music, the Faulkner soundtrack, which I'm not a big fan of. I think really improve upon it, where it's really enjoyable to listen to in a video game. They kind of Japanify it a bit more. Ooh, 2 camis. That's what I'm talking about. Someone asked me who my favorite, who's my anime crush, and it's I've got an actual wife, so I actually have seen women. So, it took a while, but then once it got going, it was fine. Yeah, I'd have to say, I said Videl from Dragon Ball, but I think I'd have to, if we're going down that avenue, we'd have to go with Cammy. Yeah, definitely Cammy I would go with. Were my killer combos too much for you, huh? The answer to that is yes. So, another game we might want to play on the stream. Again, I don't want to have the stream go too late, because, I do have grades that I have to do. After the stream, I'm going to bed. But I do have streams, I do have grades I have to do. And at the same time, I also, I want to make sure my health stays, because actually, the COVID situation is actually getting a lot worse in my town. We've got 132 for cases. Our town is about 20,000 people. There's a big give or take there. We have a SUNY school as well. So, some estatements that can knock it up 10,000 people or down. I don't know. So let's say we got between 20 and 25,000 people or whatever. I'd say, I don't know. I'd have to look at them, because then some people will say we're in the teens. Long story short, I don't know the exact population of where I live, but I would say ballpark it at about 20,000, but it's a town where, everyone kind of knows each other. There's a lot of interaction with different people, so the numbers are going up quite a bit. Because earlier in the week, I think we were at like 70, and now we're at like 132. And that's just in a few days. So, we really gotta, start. I would say we should start shutting stuff down before it starts getting bad. But, so yeah, I wanted to make sure my health stays good. Shinakuma has the Alpha 2 and Alpha 3 purple gi. I do remember that. I do remember Shinakuma having the purple gi. I want to also say, does his character sprite have blonde hair? It's kind of I like Balrog's level quite a bit. I do not like that it's they've kind of simplified it a bit. Like, I don't see the showgirls in the background. Super combo finish. Dude, I don't actually know how to do the Raging Demon. Like, I mean, I've beaten games with Akuma plenty of times, but I've never actually pulled. I don't know if I've ever pulled off that move intentionally. I think there's been times I pulled it off unintentionally, but I've always been like, what did I do to do that? One of my all-time favorite things in any anime is the fight with Vega and Chun-Li in the animated movie. That is some good stuff. Darn it! That should do it. What? Good. Chip damage territory, we were able to get the win. That was getting dangerous there. Hey, Nick, how's it going, man? See, True Sinister mentioned Olivia Munn. I can think of her as destroying Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was an a-hole before her, man. Are they still together? Rodgers and Munn? Are they married, or are they just like a thing? Aaron Rodgers has always had an unexplained chip on his shoulder that I've never really understood. Like, the Packers chose him over Brett Favre. He's had a lot of success. He's married to, or is hooking up with, a beautiful woman. So what's the deal, man? Like, why are you so pissy? Like, I don't understand. I just look forward to the time when Aaron Rodgers goes to Minnesota. So, you know what's gonna happen. You know that in a couple of years when it is so late at night, at least for me, that I'm blanking on either that or too many blows to the head. I'm blanking on the Minnesota quarterback's name, which is ridiculous. I can't believe I can't remember them. I can see his face perfectly in my head. But when Minnesota's quarterback decides to, if he doesn't win a Super Bowl, I'm going to tell you that's going to be right about the time that the Packers are going to, be looking to upgrade from Rodgers. And we all know how that goes. Kirk Cousins. How did I not remember Kirk Cousins' name? No. Man. Rodgers on Pat McAfee's show is legit hilarious every Tuesday. Hey, Diego! I believe that. Yeah, handsome fighters never lose battles. This is the vain M. Bison. So for Nick and Diego, we are no. I have serious respect for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I hate Drew Brees, but Aaron Rodgers is just he's a talented rival who's annoying. Um, but what am I saying here? We're playing Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Revival on the Game Boy Advance, which is being played through the GameCube's Game Boy Advance player expansion. And this is our second run through the game. First was Ryu, and now we're playing with Cammy. We would have been playing the game early. We would have started our live stream earlier, but we were having a lot of technical difficulties in terms of the app and YouTube, and I'm not sure what exactly the problem was, but you know, we're okay now. It would be interesting if they actually kind of expanded upon Cammy's crew here in a video game. That's how you... Hang on a second. That's how you do the Raging Demon. Okay, light punch, light punch forward, light kick, hard punch. Okay, I'm gonna have to try that. Light punch forward, light kick, hard punch. That's a weird combination. But I mean, I can do the geese code on Art of Fighting 2 for Super Famicom, so if I can do that, I should be able to do this. You know what's a real bitch to do? Is the Akuma code on Children of the Atom. That is an annoying code. If memory serves me correctly, I want to say in like the Sega Genesis version of Super Street Fighter 2, it's like, M. Bison's like, Cammy, you were once my wife. And it opts for the to be continued Art of Fighting ending. Light punch, forward light kick, hard punch. Do you hit forward at the same time you hit light kick? I'm gonna have to like go to some training room and just try that move a bunch. It's so weird because you would have figured that they would have tried to make it like the How Shokoken and Art of Fighting or something like that. Since Akuma pretty much is, he's inspired by Mr. Karate. Well, you know what? Since we're playing Super Turbo on Game Boy Advance, it might be interesting for us to check out Alpha 3 on Game Boy Advance. And I don't remember exactly what box I have that in. First on how to do it in CVS training. Interesting. You know what? I think I put Alpha 3 in the. No, I didn't put that in the Neo Wave box or Neo Blood box. It's got to be in a DS case here. There's Taiketsu, what I was talking about earlier. This may be an interesting thing to play. Can't spell Takuma without Akuma. Well done. We do have this Pocky and Rocky, which we've played before. Which, actually, that game goes for triple digits on eBay, I've seen. And I just picked this game up on a random trip to GameStop for, like, nothing. Not high triple digits, but I think... I want to say I've seen this going for over 100. Alright. So... I wonder if my Alpha 3 is... I've never done anything really much with this Capcom versus SNK Card Fighters. That's not in there. What if it's... And it's not... I bet it's not going to be Lunar. A lot of my loose cart Game Boy Advance games I have in DS games, because I have, they've got a DS cartridge slot on top. Man, I've got like every game but Alpha 3 here. I wonder what's in Chrono Trigger. This game right here, that's some good stuff. I wish I made a video out for the DS. That's got One Piece in it. Maybe Guilty Gear? Yes, it's in Guilty Gear. Which makes sense, that's another fighting game. I tried to like put my loose Game Boy Advance cartridges in DS games that at least match the genre. So that's always a good thing. Should I play some Alpha 3, and then maybe we should wrap it up with some Go-Go Aquaman. What's my favorite fighting game character and why? That's a really good question, man. So I would probably say I am the most partial to Ken from Street Fighter, because his fighting style is kind of like a more aggressive version of Ryu, and I think he's got a little bit more personality than Ryu, and I like Ryu a lot. Problem with the DS TV is the dual screen, especially the touch screen. Yeah, I know, man, but you figure there might be some way to do it, like maybe get two screens at the same time and kind of have simultaneous with the touch screen like a controller. I don't know, man. You're right, it is hard though. But there's a lot of fighting game characters I like. I mean, I actually really like Ryo from Art of Fighting. I like Terry Bogard. I like Sakura. I like Yuri. I really like Eddie Gordo. I like Angel from Tekken. I mean, there's a lot of candidates, man. Like, I mean, I can't even think of them all, but I would have to say, like, if you're asking me, like, off the top of my head who my favorite fighting game character is, I would probably say Ken. And that's just because I think he's a more charismatic version of Ryu. I like the cool American guy aspect crossed with the Japanese ideal, and yeah, it's good stuff. This game's really cool because it introduces Maki and Yoon from Street Fighter 3, and then Final Fight 2. Plus, you got all your extra characters that you got in the whatchamacallit, Dreamcast and PlayStation versions. Let's be Evil Ryu. So we're going to team up with Shin Akuma. And fight Adon. Eagle and, yep. Oh, Eagle's in this game too. I forgot about that. This game is very impressive. I mean, they were able to get Alpha 2 on a Super Nintendo cartridge, but Alpha 3 is got a very big lineup of characters. And the fact that you got more characters in this game than you have on the PlayStation version of Alpha 3, that is very impressive. I used to play this game on DS all the time. There we go. It's also interesting how they handled the soundtrack to this game as well. Because it's it's definitely toned down, but it does keep the energy of the original. This is a more impressive port than Alpha 1 Game Boy Color. I think I got out of the way of that. Tit for tat there. It's a move I don't know how to do. Man! Ah, shit. Give it a good try. Mine is Ryu. Yeah, I love Ryu. Ryu's cool as hell. It's too late to turn back now, says Hollywood Hulk Ryu. Man, how did that go right through him? The thing I like about dramatic battle is, like, when I'm Ryu, I just like to kind of hang back and then be the projectile dude. So I had a remote day of learning today, and I mean, it went well. I'm a big fan of the remote style of teaching, at least so far. My first remote day, I was really upset because they preempted Matlock for local news, and they didn't do that today, so super happy. Absolute destruction is the only path for me, so that's what Satsui no Hado Ryu says. So it's weird. I wonder how you actually get to Akuma. You must have to have it on the hardest setting, because I'm pretty sure on Super Turbo for the Game Boy Advance, I'm pretty sure that I didn't lose any fights with Cammy, but I had it at a low difficulty, so I wonder if that made a difference. Shosh. Yeah, very, very, very competent port here. Do a nice job maintaining all the different character artwork. And they do seem to cut some levels out of the game, though, but it still feels like you're playing Alpha 3. And playing it on the go, I mean, the PSP Alpha 3 is the best Alpha 3, I think, but I think the DS is a better portable console than the PSP, just because it's a lot more durable, and battery life lasts longer. So being able to take this on the go with you in your DS is great. It's a game I definitely took a lot on the go with me in my DS. It's Sagat. My favorite 90s TV show is Highlander, Hercules, and Xena the Warrior Princess. Those are good choices, man. I'm a big fan of Highlander, the TV series. I got super pissed when they killed Richie off. I thought that made absolutely no sense. I thought that the Highlander TV series was fantastic, and then I felt like they started running out of ideas, and in order to compensate for that, they started killing characters off. and they killed off like just straight up my favorite character on the show, and extremely important character to the structure of the show. So I mean, I really just kind of lost patience with Highlander, the TV show, after they killed Richie off, but I still really like it as a series to watch. So I'm a big fan of that. And I've never seen a Hercules or a Xena episode I didn't like. I gotta tell you, I haven't seen them all, but the ones that I've seen are pretty damn cool. So. I remember I watched a little bit of Xena when I was on vacation in the Adirondacks, and I definitely liked what I saw. It was on some local station there, and they had it on every Saturday. Man, Evil Ryu does not have a Shinku Hadouken, it seems like. Oh, he did it! Hey! Dude, I didn't even know how I did that. Sinister, do you see that, man? I actually did it. Dude, I have no idea how I did that. Yeah, Richie was really cool. I think Richie was like the relatable character. Because, like, me watching that, I was, I was, like, in elementary school, junior high. And, like, Richie was, like, the kid. I mean, he was, like, he was, like, a grown man with a rapier. He could, like, cut your head off. But he was the guy, he was the student, and I was the student. And he was cool. So, I mean, Duncan was cool, too. But, yeah, I just thought Richie was an energetic, cool character. I mean, and they had a really nice structure to the show, too. Having the teacher and student dynamic there, the buddy cop, kind of different personalities, the more younger, impulsive, and then the older, more contemplative. It was really good, and they really screwed it up. Plus, the other thing that really annoyed me is that, and I went on this rant before on live streams, they were going to kill anyone off. They should have killed Mythos off, and I like Mythos, but it would have plot-wise been really cool if they had done that, because then you would have been able to fight the guy who got Mythos' quickening, and it could turn into a whole plot arc. Sent you a Facebook message. Need some info to proceed. Yeah, cool, man. Let's check it out. I'm just super happy I pulled off that Raging Demon. The problem with Evil Ryu, though, is I like doing the Shinku Hadouken, and he's apparently not doing it. The other thing I really like is the Japanese version of Alpha 1 or Street Fighter Zero. They use the Tetsuya Komuro song. For the dramatic battle fight with Vega / M. Bison. Got him. Yeah, no, it's Evil Ryu, so it's he's using Akuma's I would argue Akuma, there's a strong grounds that Akuma is Ryu's father, so Ryu has within him the capacity for the murderous intent, and the murderous energy that Akuma kind of gives himself over to be super strong, although he's a unthinking, butt wipe. But he's thinking, but he's vicious, man. Although I don't know, in Alpha 3 he seems to have a little bit of a personality. He'll have a little bit of a personality sometimes. It's not like he's a completely purely evil character, but he's definitely someone who fighting and killing is all he lives for. And so he is a bit one-dimensional and violent. And and it's a dark path. It's a path of destruction. So Ryu's got that capacity, and so that's that version of him. All right, presented by Capcom. Thanks for playing. So what we're gonna do right now, guys, is I actually got a couple of games in the mail. One of them is Go-Go Aquaman for the Super Famicom, and then the other is the text RPG version of Akira for the. It's for the Famicom, but I got a English version for my top loader NES right here. So I'm not going to play this Akira game now because it's a text game, and I'm going to wrap up this live stream pretty soon. And as you all know, since you've been loyal viewers, reading at night makes me start to fall asleep. So since we are probably a bit past midnight Eastern Standard Time, yeah, we're at 12:05. So what we're going to do is we are going to do one round or so of Go-Go Aquaman, and then we'll be playing that more. I'm going to be a lot more careful in terms of how I move my stand this time, because during the last live stream we had a whole fun of stuff falling down. Awesome, man. Well, you know, Sinister, that's super awesome, man. I'm excited to check out the message, and yeah, bro, just I mean, whatever is awesome. So again, big Akira Toriyama fan, big Dragon Ball fan. So another repro guy that I know makes fantastic cartridges and really great customer service. And this is a Go-Go Aquaman. So it's an Akira Toriyama Super Famicom game. So we'll play a little bit of that. And we'll do some 2D side-scrolling fun with one of the best mangaka around. The charming, charismatic, tough artwork of Akira Toriyama. And we will grab... Actually, I don't think we actually even need the donut bench. I think we'll use the Neo Geo box here. Speaking of Neo Geo, I actually glued my Neo Geo Mini onto the cabinet here, and that way, if I ever wanted to kind of do like the little arcade experience, we could. But I actually have it hooked into an HDMI out going through VGA. It looks great on this monitor here. One thing I'm actually really interested in getting is, and I'd have to make room for it. I'd have to but I'd have to swap out one of my monitors. Is that, the Neo Geo arcade cabinet that's coming out. It's about like half the size of one of these. And, I'm thinking I'd probably like put it above the actual Neo Geo. Like maybe like right here, I'd like move this. But, yeah, it's good stuff. Well, I'm excited to see what it is, man. And again, thank you for your generosity and interest in my madness. So, and if there's anything I can do, I'll do my best to be generous on my end. All right, let's play some of this. Band presto. I'll turn the volume up a little bit on this here. Man, this game looks fantastic on this monitor. I'm actually waiting for some new Super Nintendo controllers that I got. Because I only have the Super Famicom controller, and one of the buttons is getting a little kind of loose on it, and the cord is also very small, so... I'll pump this down to easy. I can see myself having a lot of fun with this game. The other thing about this Super Famicom controller is the start button is getting a little wonky on it. So, we have Christian, Christian, tropes crossed with kind of the Japanese take on a more kind of charming, mischievous mythology. This is a great representation of Akira Toriyama's artwork in 16-bit. It looks really great. This is really flexing the muscles of the Super Famicom here. So this is a fan translation of this game. It's never released in English. And it's a very high quality translation at that. So we basically got little like chibi Trunks here. If he was a good-natured demon child. Very, very smooth gameplay here. Not fast like Sonic, but just very, very responsive controls, both in terms of the direction... in terms of the direction pad, and then also in terms of the jumping. Like, maybe it's a little too smooth. Definitely has a an early Dragon Ball vibe crossed with the mid to late 90s art style of Akira Toriyama. Looks like we're invincible now. This is a nice straightforward game here. It's fun and easy to play. And it looks really pretty. Love Toriyama's artwork here. And, really, when the Super Nintendo and the Super, not Super, like when the Super Famicom and the regular Famicom, I think are really at their best. It's when they're doing these very vibrant chibi graphics here. So we have a pea shooter right here. Ah! You know what I can't stand with like newer platformers is when they I'm seeing what's in the chat here. The thing that made Alpha 3 more as a Game Boy cartridge, sizes were way bigger than 16-bit. Hang on, guys. Let me pause this for a second. I'm gonna go back and look at the chat here. Tobal is my favorite from Akira Toriyama. I've got Tobal #1. It's great. Way more colors. Sega Genesis and PC Engine had to implement bank switching just for their versions of Champion Edition. And it was still far smaller than the arcade ROMs. Yeah, no, Super Famicom definitely was able to flex its muscles when it came to having ridiculous color palettes. Really vibrant, beautiful games. I gotta tell you, I really do like the Sega Genesis, but I think that the PC Engine did a much better job in terms of having vibrant colors. But that's not to say that there were no games on Sega Genesis with vibrant colors either. It really just, like anything, depends on the developer. But natively speaking, the Genesis's color palette was definitely a lot more narrow than the Super Nintendo's. This is easily one of the best 2D platformers I've ever played. Looks like I'm playing through a very well-drawn, easy-to-play gag manga. And I'm definitely a person who, like, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, the game's too easy. It's like, no. I'm all in favor for an easy game. Just let me have fun and let me enjoy a good story. I feel like this game is doing what Dragon Ball GT tried to do. Ah, come on! Ah, game over. Well, that was really fun, but I think given the time and also the fact that I have a very busy weekend, even though it is Columbus Day weekend, I think we should probably wrap things up. Sega only has 63 and a half colors on screen and 512 overall. Yeah, I mean, no, like, I don't disagree, but at the same time, man, compare Sonic the Hedgehog to Mario. It's like, I think Sonic blows it out of the water. But yeah, so right on. Thank you so much, guys, for stopping by the stream, and I'm sorry it's so late. I mean, I really wanted to start this stream a lot earlier, and for whatever reason, we finally did get the app working, so that's great. Keep an eye out on the YouTube channel for more streams and videos, video game reviews, and other fun stuff. So that's all on its way. And yeah, once again, just thanks for your friendship, thanks for your interest in the channel, and thanks for your interest in my interests. So, you take care. Till next time, my name is Noel. Bye-bye.